Alright, hey guys, this is David Secondary Comics. Alright, gonna do another segment, not another segment, but a segment of books that I have in my collection that you might want to look for in a while. The books I'm about to show you is something that you will probably have a very hard time finding it because one, it's not heavily ordered and not many people might not know about it, along with that draws some monetary value as well too at the same time. So I got a whole bunch of slams here that I have in my collection that I want to kind of showcase at the same time. Maybe something that you might want to look into, or maybe something that you might not have known that existed. As can tell you right now, it wasn't for this comic community, I would have not known majority of the books that I'm about to show you. So I just wanted to shout out to Freddy562 along with Mighty Mel V, happens to be It's Drunken Chat Son, and then I said the Doom 143, along with just a handful of people that I'm very close to, consider as my friend, and also Poor Man's Comic as well. He's just a really niche or obscure type of comic books as well. So check those guys out. I mean, check those channels. You get to learn a lot, and you get to see some books that you're thinking, oh gee, I didn't know that book existed. So let's get into this. So the first book in front of you is Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers Unleashed, issue number 4. This is one out of, I believe is 1 out of 15, if not 1 out of 10. So correct me if I'm wrong at the comments below. Oh, by the way, also, if this is your first time into my channel, visiting my channel, please subscribe and comment below and tell me what you think about this video. And if you have the books that I showed, if there are other books that maybe I might be, that I should be looking into, that is really hard book to find. This is almost considered as a ghost book. Is almost like really hard book to find. Along with that, if you look into the secondary market, like an LCS website, along with, you know, of course eBay, they might have one or maybe even none. At the most might have 2 listed and asking for like hundreds or maybe even thousands of dollars for these in a high grade. So the first one here is, once again, is Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers Unleashed number 4. This is the 1 out of 15 incentive variant, covered down by Scotty Young. I have known about this due to Mighty Mel V. He was mentioning that he had really hard time finding this. I remember thinking that I saw it at the local LCS. I wouldn't say nearby, local LCS, and I was kind of going through it, and beyond, they had 1 copy, bag and board, of course, and it just was asking for $5. So of course I scooped it and ran out like a bandit. Got a press, of course, came back as a 9.8, and just really glad. And I think there's only a handful of people that I know, maybe 2, Poor Man's Comic, along with King of the Golden State, that I know that has this, along with Mighty Mel V. So yeah, so look out for this. It's a really great cover. Love the color of this. Of course, this is Throg, Thor, I guess, turned into a frog or something. But this is not his first appearance, but definitely a great book and great cover to have if you are into cover collecting. And just wanted to give you a heads up that this does exist out there. And I know that Poor Man Comics, going back to him, is, like I said, very obscure, and sometimes he gets some really hard to find books in his nearby store. So yeah, I think he has like 2, maybe 3 cover of this. So that's with that. Next one is Eminem Punisher. This is Eminem Punisher Kill You No Number, which was came out in 2009. Well, there's a two version of this. This is one. A single issue which was a mail away. I don't know how you can qualify to mail away. Maybe it was a gift, but this is from the XXL magazine, which happens to be a lot of the hip hop. And in one of the issue has Eminem cover kind of going of his story, and inside that has this comic book which attached to the magazine, which you cannot be detached. It's actually on the magazine. That magazine also demands high value. I think the last sale that I know of was sold for maybe about 200 to 300. So I'm asking for 500. As for this one here, I believe there's one 9.8 asking for in a 4 digits. So can go in a high in a 9.8 can demand at least about a good 1,000 or something. If it was sold, don't know. I think the last book that was sold was about $500 something. As you know, Amazing Spider-Man #1, that the Hustle variant with Eminem, you know, celebrating his 30th was that 8 Miles movie that he had done. And I mean, that's blowing up in the 9.8. I mean, but that is, you already know the print run. There's about 2,500 print run. There was 1,000 print run on the partial sketch cover of that ASM #1. Just to let you know, all of the covers that kind of associate Eminem on a cover with Marvel comic is done by Salvador La Roca. So he has done this. He has also done the Mighty Avenger. I believe it was #3 that has the Iron Man and Eminem, but that's not a ghost book. But this is definitely something you want to look into. I don't know if you will find it in the back issue, but if you check the secondary market, there is some listed. So I don't consider this as a ghost because there's some many out there listed on eBay, but definitely something that is really, really hard to find. So I would say very hard to find on the wild. Probably non-existent there's non-existent anywhere near where I stay. So I was really glad to got to this. It's a very thin comic book. It's really hard at 9.8 to get because once again, it was a mail away, something that it was a promotional gift. So promotional comic book that was mailed out. So anyway, so here it is. So XXL Hip Hop, and this is the comic book. Let me kind of zoom that in for you. So this is that's the magazine that you want to look into right there. The second one kind of has that Eminem versus Eminem the Punisher. So the second one, the one that he's on the black, and that's the one that has that this comic book that is attached to the magazine itself. So look into that, and let me just zoom out again. All right. So there we go. All right. So there's that Eminem Punisher. Kill You No Number came out in 2009. So like I said, once again, there's many books that are out there, but I just want to showcase the book that I have. Also, this is Conan #24. This is the nude variant. This is not a recall. A lot of people think that this is a recall, but it's not. Really hard book to find in the wild. I believe Walking Jedi as well. Also, he's a hunter. He found a couple of copies of this, but I don't see too many people posting this. Maybe they have forgotten about it. But this is not the recall, but this is definitely one of the books that you want to look into if you are into this kind of thing. But if you are into ghosts or very hard to find book, this is something that you want to put in the list of books that you want to look into when you go into back issue. I believe there's on eBay. The last time I checked, it was asking for about maybe 300. Some asking for 400. Um, but yeah, Conan number 24. This is the new variant. There's a non-nude variant as well too. So, but this is not the recall. There was another recall that had the preview of this inside a magazine, and they thought that it wasn't proper for young age, so they recalled it. And but there were some issue that was somehow got leaked out, and try to look for that. I don't know what issue that is. I believe it was Conan number 23. Could be Conan something. God, I should have gotten all the information before I made this video, but just let's focus on this book here. All right. Okay. So look out for that on the wild. All right. I remember when Natalie Sander was a huge thing, I believe about 3-4 years back. This is Penny for Your Soul, Volume 3, Issue number 1. This is the Big Dog Inc. Publisher. And I believe this is one out of 15. This is a ratio variant. Not an easy book to find. So shout out to All About Comic JP. I got this as an A-OK from him because he knows I like hot chicks on a cover. But just the way that this is one of the earliest Natalie Sander cover that she has done, and it's not an easy book to find. And on a raw like this, will be demanding at least about $150 to $200. The price would have gone up. I think the last time I checked was about a year ago. It was definitely it was at Emerald City Comic Con in 2018 that she was there, and I was able to get her to sign it in a red ink. If you can see, yeah, just the cover itself is a very gorgeous cover. And when I got this, I had to get it signed, and came back as a 9.8. So shout out to All About Comic. Also check out his channel as well. He do have some live podcasts, live show, and talk about things. So talk about comic book. He's also into Babes with Sword, and along with he does a lot of independent books. So he goes into, talk about the artists, and along with some of the Kickstarter that he's involved. And yeah, go check his channel out. Maybe there's a lot of things to learn from all these channels out there. And so once again, this is Penny for Your Soul, Volume 3, Issue number 1 by Natalie Sanders. Like I said, this is almost a ghost. I think there was a couple of listings. I said the last time I checked was a couple of years ago, about a year ago, and it was asking for about 150 to 200 in a raw. I believe it's not even a near mid. It's probably a very fine to very fine minus. But yeah, if you're ever in your local LCS and does carry some obscure comics, check this out. Look for this one. It's a beautiful, beautiful cover. All right, you've probably seen this. It's homage to Pulp Fiction. This is Incredible Hulk 441. Came out in '96. Cover done by Angel Medina. There is 2 versions of this. This is the newsstand. And the way you can know about the newsstand is that it's $1.50, 150 cents. It's $1.50 price cover book. If you get the direct, it will say $1.95. Now, there's 2 things going here. One is a newsstand, and also has a 2 different price right from the direct and the newsstand. And on the CGC sensors, the last time I checked, it only had 3 in the existence. Maybe there's more. Like I said, the last time I checked was about a year ago, and it was only 3. I have one, and the other one is he's got freaking issue. Another great channel that you want to look into, go sub him up. He shows some very obscured, and also he's a master presser. He presses all my books, and And he's another one that I know that has a 9.8 of this in a newsstand version. So look out for that. Incredible Hulk 441. Even on the direct, it's a great cover. But if you're looking for something that is very hard to find and maybe even a ghost, time to time this 150 will pop up on eBay. But be very careful. If you don't care about the grade, just want to have this on your collection, by all means spend the money on you the way you want it, but just be careful you don't spend too much on a book just because it's how would you say, just because of FOMO. All right, so be on the lookout for this. Check all the Incredible Hulk, and if you find this even on a 195 on near mint, 9.8 asking for, I think the last sale for was for about 198. The last one was about $215. So even on a direct on a 9.8, our ask is, you can get a pretty good deal on it. But on this one here, I think the last one sold was about for $450 on a 9.8. So there's that 3. Okay, next book, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, issue number 17. This is a second print variant, homage to ASM 50 in the last panel, but this is done by Adi Granoff. You will find few online, but I can tell you right now, the condition on the one that is online is definitely has some severe spine ticks everywhere. And if you look in the back of this book as well too, it's not a really, can't really tell the ticks, but it's some of the one that is out there, man, it's pretty bad. This is, I do have 2 more in raw copy, definitely not 9.8, but it's in a high grade. But I just wanted to show you something in all in slab. I'm not sure, I guess I'm kind of showing off my collection, but just want to kind of make a highlight that it's not a very easy book to get in a 9.8. If you check the CGC census, as you can know, there's about maybe in the 20 something in in a 9.8. I believe there's about 8 of signature series, and the seller that I knew had 3. I got 2 of them. The one he sold, one I gave as an AOK to Keep It Thorough. So Keep It Thorough, if you're watching this, I hope you still have that book, because it's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful cover. There's not much I can say. This is the first black costume in title. How's that? Sandman appearance, Franklin Richard backup story by, yeah. So there's a lot of going on in this issue, but look out for this on your dollar bin or $5 bin on back issues. And if you can find it in a high grade, do so, because I can tell you right now, it's not an easy book to find. But also at the same time, it's a gorgeous cover. Love this cover. All right, so Original Sin number 1. This is the San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know if we could call it exclusive, but it's a San Diego Comic-Con variant. This is a sketch cover done by Chip Zdarsky. This is a Chip Zdarsky sketch cover, and let me just take it out of this cover here. It just doesn't do any justice. All right, so there it is. So this one here, God, Original Sin, it was I believe there was a 9-issue miniseries that has happened, that Marvel had done, and at that time, Chip Zdarsky had this in his booth, signing books and stuff, but just somehow there was not many was published, I think. From my understanding, there's not more than 30 of this in existence. The 9.8 asking for at least about $1,200. 9.6, I don't know. I picked this up at a fraction of that price, and there is some small little snowing at the corner, and that's the only issue with this book that came back as a 9.8, 9.6. But it's a hard book to find. You probably won't find this in a back issue. There is some few listed on eBay, but like I said, you are going to pay premium if you're into this hard to find book. And it was just very fortunate that I was able to find one at a very, very good price. I think I paid, God, there was so much, there was many years ago. I can't really know if I paid $30 for it or if I paid $80 for it. But still, on a book and this rarity, definitely it was worth for me to pay that and get it graded. And I was missed it by a point, but still a great book to have in my collection and maybe into yours. So if you're, once again, if you're going into this type of niche, type of a hard to find book, but at the same time, if you're a cover collector, look for this. All right. I think I showed this on my top. I don't know if I recapped this, but this is one book that is, I know that they're out there. There's some few listed asking for premium price. Once again, this is Uncanny X-Men 423. This is the newsstand error edition, which you have the 25-cent stamp. But if you look at the code, it's asking for $2.25. There's a 3 variation. There's the one that's corrected, 25 cents, 25 cents. There's one that has that $2.25, but does not have that 25 cent stamp. So this is more the rarity. Just somehow Marvel knew that they screwed up. They're trying to recall back, but there's some handful of there that is probably out there. I believe not more than 1,000 of this probably out there running around the wild. Could be less, could be 500, could be 300. Unknown when it comes to recall comics, because something about comic book, you don't really know the exact print run along with what kind of escaped and whatnot, but definitely a hard book to find. And if you're into X-Men, like I said, rarity books again, look for this book here. Another book, Daredevil #2. When I found out about this, I picked up at least about 3 covers. 3 copies of this in a high grade. And one came back as a 9.6, got another one, came back as a 9.6 again. And finally I got this as a 9, came back as a 9.8, and I was so stoked. And I was the very first one in the CGC census to have a 9.8 in this cover. This is one of the 50 Frank Cho. I just thought that the black cover with red is just somehow eye-catching. It's just beautiful. I had to have it. When I got a 9.6, sold it, flipped it, traded, and then got another one, and this came back 9.6, and that's it. And that was it. I think I had one extra cover, which I gave it to a part of an AOK to Josh Grau. Josh, and part of the East Meets West FOC. And I hope if he does it, I believe that was probably a 9.6, 9.8 candidate, but him being a person himself, probably not. But I swear, in my eyes, I thought it was a 9.6. So very high grade, but very hard to find. Not an easy book to find. The last one sold in raw, I believe, was for $38 to $45. The last 9.6, I think, was sold for about $100-something, but I don't recall seeing any 9.8s being listed. And right now, if you go to eBay, I don't think there's any listed as right now. Okay, so if you're into, like I said, rare comic books, hard to find comic book with great cover, this is something that you want to look into. And if you find one in the back bin, grab it up. But be careful, due to the black cover, a lot of flaws can happen. Oil from the finger can be rubbed off. But like I said, a great book to look out for. Transformer #1. This is one of the 10, I believe, was the incentive variant. This is the Obama presidential campaign poster homage, cover done by Tim Doyle. And yeah, I mean, And one thing about this book is in the back is that you'll find some that has scratches in the back. I think I gave a part of the AOK, I think, to, was it Joker? Joker M21. But yeah, definitely a great book to look out for, and something that you want to kind of look into if you're into Transformer. Well, for me, it's the nostalgia of it, and the historical making when Obama became a president, and this was the homage to his campaign poster. So kind of everything kind of fit together for me to say I need to have this book, and that's just for me. Maybe it might not be your cup of tea, but definitely if you're into, once again, this type of rarity, type of hard to find book, this is something that you want to look into. Down to my last two books this is Wolverine and the X-Men, one of the 50, Mark Brooks Venomized cover. I think 2000 and 2012, I think Marvel did this Venomized racial variant that each one is a 1 out of 50. There's like many books to find. I think the Iron Man number, I think it was 44. If I correct me if I'm wrong, that's the one that is pretty much it's asking for, going for, is sold for probably in the high hundreds, if not in the low thousands. So, and also, if you ever find this in the wild, regardless what the condition is, just grab it, because it's, like I say, it's not an easy book to find. And if people are into, once again, this type of books, cover, I just love the cover, had to get it, and realizing that it was, Venomized and whatever, just everything else just somehow connected with me, and I had to have it. Yes, FOMO kicked in, I got it, and came pressed and clean and graded, came back as a 9.8, so I'm very happy with that. But do what you guys want to do when you get your books, but certain books like this, in my opinion, I would just get it graded just for the sake of keeping it so that you won't get more damaged. All right, last book. Once again, this is one of the 50 Venomized racial variant cover done by Mike Del Mundo. Just somehow that yellow and the green just somehow popped, and I'm kind of into Hulk covers that kind of resonates with me, and Adi Granov, that's 635, that 125 is one of them. That's another book that is hard to find. I don't know why I didn't pull that one out, but just look into that, look for this. You probably won't find it, but if you do, in the back bin, snatch it up. Pretty much these books are all wall books, and yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to rarity and hard to find ghost type of books that I have in my collection. I mean, I have more, but just wanted to showcase some of the books that you might not known about it, or you might have forgotten about it, that I just want to get your attention to this, that these books, especially when the market is so down right now, you might want to snatch it up for a pretty decent price, because everything, pretty much all around, everywhere, the market has gone down. I think even the AF15 had gone down a little compared to what it was last year. And let me just showcase another one. Is this one here. I got this. It's Funko Soda Pop. Yeah, there's only about 750 of this Popeyes, and snatched it up for a pretty good price. Back in my collection. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching this. Thanks for your time. I know this is a long video, but I just wanted to kind of put some information, not a lot, but some, but at least you get to kind of enjoy the cover at the same time, kind of see the collection that I have, and also at the same time kind of give you a heads up that these books that's something that you might want to look into. All right, guys, until next time, Thanks again. Aloha, shoots.